This is a student's first draft of a formal description of the painting titled Jupiter and Semele by Gustave Moreau. So I'll read the student's description while the painting is hidden to see what kind of visual imagery this description evokes. And the student writes, "The painting is large. In the book, it is as long as my pinky finger, but in person, it measures about 7 feet by 4 feet. Okay, good first sentence, a little casual, but it's descriptive. It brings immediately to attention that scale, size, is important." And the student continues writing, "It is a vertical painting, very long. The bright colors from the oils of the painting are clear." That's a little confusing. Are they colorful or clear? That sentence might need clarification. Okay, continuing on. "The use of red and blue are the top of the painting and draws you in. The painting shows a mythological chaotic scene. In the photo are Semele and Jupiter. While not alone in the photo, they are the center of attention. Jupiter sits on a throne with Semele hanging on his leg in an almost dramatic way. At the bottom of the photo," okay, I'm going to stop right there. It's a painting, not a photograph. It might be a photograph of the painting, but we are talking about the painting, not a photograph. Okay? Medium is very important. A photograph is a photograph, a painting is a painting, a print is a print, etc. Can't confuse them. I'll continue on. At the bottom of the painting, we see figures that are to be human, but a little too dark to know exactly what they are doing. It looks the people at the bottom are in chaos while Jupiter is relaxing on his throne. The artist did not focus on space in this painting. The people are squished together. Some seem to be laying, others seem to pray. There looks to be a Virgin Mary at the bottom middle section of the painting." Okay. I'll address some issues here. Work my way back up. So if this is mythology, Jupiter and Semele, not too sure there's a Virgin Mary at the bottom. It might be a different character. It does evoke a certain look, so it's not bad for a description, but it should be a little more accurate. What would the Virgin Mary look like? There could be different depictions of the Virgin Mary. It could be a Coptic depiction of Virgin Mary, which would be different than, say, a Western Protestant church. Okay, so that's why the description is important. We have to describe what we see and not the assumption of symbols. Okay. The student's assertion that, quote, "the artist did not focus on space in this painting," end quote, is a little misleading. There's always a focus on space, whether it's crowded space or open space is what's up for debate. Okay. When looking at a work of art, I'm going to divide the space in a very formal way to illustrate what I'm talking about. This is how artists see space. Okay. They divide it up. That's a big reason I have this exercise for the class. Okay, there's the structure of the space that the artist is dealing with. See these pedestals? And what the artist is doing. So you need to describe that space. It is very symmetrical space. Because the left side and the right side, I know this is left and that's right, are mirror images of each other. What they're mirror images of is these architectural elements, which are rectangles or oblongs that construct this space. And as such, you have Jupiter and Semele in the center, but they're elevated and they're in the top third of this space. And Jupiter is sitting, facing the viewer, facing us. And here's, I gotta get rid of some of this stuff so you can see. Actually, forget that it's Jupiter for a minute. We have a main character sitting or standing on an elevated platform in the center, in the top half or even top third. Should describe about how tall this main character is compared to the rest of the painting. And then go on to describe the posture. Okay, what's going on with the hands, the gesture is the figure standing or sitting. And the secondary figure, or the next figure seen, which is smaller by how much, and draped over the knee that we can see on our left. So probably the main figure's right knee, leaning back and to the left. Let's zoom in a little bit. Now there's a color and tone and texture difference between the two main characters. Okay, this main character has kind of a yellow hue, a yellow brown, kind of a little bit of umber hue to it, with this green or ornamentation and red and blue ornamentation, whereas this other character is mostly pale white with a little bit of yellow, not even dressed, barely has a cloth draped over her right leg and across her loins, and it's the only thing covering. And look at how she's reaching. Okay, you can describe these radiating red lines. It would be more appropriate if how big they are, right? The color of the sky, the shape of this throne-like thing, the ornamentation on it, the pedestals, how ornate everything is. There's an overall texture to this work of art. What is this character with wings? The shape the wings make. Pointing down, this figure's looking which direction? You have this small figure that this description made the assumption that's a Virgin Mary-like figure. Mirrors or mimics the larger figure. So they are in line with each other along the center axis, right? The center axis that goes down the painting. And they're very similar, okay? They're both facing the viewer, and they have this radial halo-like thing. I mean, halo is sort of an assumption, but radial is correct because there are these lines that are radiating outward. What are some of the other characters doing? How big are they compared to the main character? What are they doing? What colors and textures are they wearing? Where are they looking? What's their gesture like? Where are they located within the work of art? If you had to just describe a location for each of these things that I'm surrounding, how would you make that description? Okay, I think that's plenty to expand, plenty of material to use to expand the first draft of the description. So a formal description is just a description of the forms, the things you see, the building blocks that make up the work of art. Describe those, size, location, shape, and later on texture, color, tone. And don't describe any meaning or story. That's the later step. Only describe what can be seen, and do it as it's okay to do it in very simple terms, in very short sentences. And that will create a better description, that will evoke a more accurate mental picture in the reader's mind.